Hi there, my name's Susie Bailey. I'm a GP in Derbyshire and I'm Medical Director of the Hub Plus. I am going to chat to you today about the People Promise work that we're doing in the Hub Plus in Derbyshire. So without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen. So we're part of a pilot to run the NHS People Promise in primary care, and we're doing this across the whole of Derbyshire. So what is the NHS People Promise? Well, during COVID, we were all struggling, and there's still an awful lot of difficulties still there. But during that time, it was realised that some additional help was needed to support the 1.3 million people that work across the NHS, both in trusts and in small organisations like general practice. So a piece of work was done to try and find out what would help support people to stay well at work. And this is how the NHS People Promise was created. It's a set of building blocks that help us stay well and healthy at work. It includes things like flexible working, team working, inclusivity and diversity, and also having a voice that counts. Now, we were very lucky to be able to given the opportunity to be part of one of these pilots and are working alongside Derby and Derbyshire LMC and the General Practice Provider Board in delivering this work. So why did we apply? Well, you will know that the Hub does a huge breadth of work to support people working across general practice in the county, from training and education to developing leadership to coaching and mentoring. And so the ethos of the People Promise runs through every single thing that we do. But this was a great opportunity to learn from other people and share knowledge, but also learn from you about how we can do things better. We also want to be in a space to make sure that general practice is front and centre of People Promise work, and they understand the challenges that we have to overcome, the differences in the size of our organisation, the funding and contractual issues, some of the problems that we have in terms of data collection, and also the multiple models we have of delivering care for our patients. Fundamentally, we want to make sure that general practice staff have the same access to the same amount of support as elsewhere in the NHS. And because of our knowledge of Derbyshire general practice, we want it to be clear that there's not a one-size-fits-all model. So I've worked in general practice long enough to be cynical about anything that comes out, and I know many of you are too. So is this just another nicely branded thing to do? Well, fortunately, the answer to that is no. This is the second year of People Promise pilots, and it's the first time that they've done it in general practice. However, when we look at the data from the 1 year of the first set of pilots, there are some really interesting things that are coming out of it. So organisations in the pilot that offered a suite of NHS People Promise support had some really interesting results. There was a decrease in leaver rate compared to the non-People Promise site, an improvement in staff satisfaction, and there is an estimated retention of 2,000 to 3,000 full-time equivalent colleagues. Now, people services stuff can sometimes feel a bit soft and not as important, but those figures are stark. And just a reminder that if we increase retention and improve staff wellbeing, we support our teams to be more stable. That saves money and also improves patient care. So it's something that we all need to be prioritising. We are conscious, however, that having another piece of work can mean more effort for you. And so we always abide by a set of principles in the Hub that we want to share with you. So firstly, we know that excellent practice is already happening. We want to amplify this and not recreate it. We also understand the huge pressure of work that you're under at the moment. And so the burden of the work for this will happen in the Hub, with us providing you resources and support to help one another. We also are very conscious that the environment is changing and the offers have to be flexible to meet your needs. And finally, this is a pilot, and so there are two elements to that. Firstly, we have to produce something that is sustainable beyond the end of the pilot, and we have to use public funding wisely. And we're working really closely with other primary care sites to share things so we can maximise that investment. So what's our plan? So we want to make sure that this means something to you working at the coalface in general practice through support, education and engagement. We're creating a bank of best practice resources supported by a comprehensive line management support programme called The People Promise, a Journey of Engagement and Empowerment. That will include things like HR, organisational culture, recruitment and onboarding, and flexible working. There will be short modules supported by additional resources, so people will be able to come and pick and choose and see them either live or recorded, and they will sit within our learning management system. We'll also be role modelling and sharing practical examples of People Promise best practice. So let's celebrate what's doing well and what's working well and how that's supporting our staff. It's critical within this work that everyone has a voice, and we have a number of different fora to make sure that this happens, but there are some groups and some members of staff who do not have the same degree of voices and fora that already exist, particularly locum and reception and admin staff. So there are a number of listening groups that will happen in order to support you to make sure that you are able to influence and impact this work. We'll also be implementing a programme of recognition and reward, and I'm really delighted to say that we've had over 80 people be nominated for, or who have nominated themselves for, a long-term service award. So we will start seeing those awards being given out very, very shortly. The People Promise you'll see is the logos as a glue that works throughout all of our work streams. So that's all we won't be talking about this, but what's in it for me if I'm a manager or a leader, and why should I release people to go to this? Well, we would really appreciate your support and sponsorship for this work stream and to try and amplify it and make sure your members of staff are aware of it. But why? Well, we've said about the data around staff retention and staff satisfaction and how important that is. We also know that the General Practice Staff Survey is coming, so hopefully it will impact your returns on that. Also, supporting your staff is part of both CQC Well-Led and the QOF Workforce and Wellbeing domains. We also know there is a significant correlation between staff wellbeing and patient safety. And what's in it for me as an individual, why should I give up some of my time to attend some of these sessions? Well, firstly, this is an ongoing commitment to make sure that you are supported at work and able to support one another. You'll start feeling more recognised for your contributions that you make to support patient care across Derbyshire. You'll be able to celebrate and share what's working well and learn from one another and connect with your peers. You'll learn how to have more consistent line management support and how to support others. You'll understand that your voice matters and your voice truly does shape what we do and how we deliver things in the hub. And the net effect of this work is to improve the psychological safety within practices, and that will enhance patient care, patient safety, and thus your satisfaction at work. So what's next? Well, I put both the QR code and our web link there. On those links, you can sign up for our line management series and start to work out when both those live and recorded sessions will become available. You'll be able to find out more about the long-term service awards and when the celebration events will happen for those. If you would like a career conversation with one of our team to discuss education and development and what you can access, you can sign up for that. And also you can let us know about any People Promise related work that you would like to celebrate and share with others. And finally, you can join our listening groups. So we're delighted to be able to offer this work, and we can't wait to see you and show you more about what's happening. Thank you.